Did you know there's a country where your TV might only show a few government-approved channels, tourists are tightly controlled, and even getting a haircut can be regulated?
What?
A place where the outside world feels almost like a different planet. That's just the beginning. Let me take you inside North Korea. Tucked away in East Asia, North Korea sits on the northern half of the Korean peninsula, sandwiched between China to the northwest, Russia to the northeast, and its southern neighbor, South Korea. It's roughly about the size of the U.S. state of Mississippi, but with a much more mountainous landscape. In fact, about 80% of the country is covered in hills and mountains. One of its most famous natural features is Mount Pyeongtaek, which brings us to the basics. The full official name, Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Capital city, Pyongyang. Population, around 26 million people, about the same as Australia. Official language, Korean. Currency, North Korean won. Leader, Kim Jong-un, ruling under a centralized single-party system. Area size, about 120,000 square kilometers. National animal, the kollama, a mythical flying horse symbolizing speed and strength. Now let's get into how it became what it is today. To understand North Korea, you have to rewind to the early 1900s. Back then, the entire Korean peninsula was under Japanese control. For decades, Koreans lived under occupation until the end of World War II in 1945. But instead of becoming one united country again, Korea was split in two. The North was influenced by the Soviet Union, and the South by the United States. Two different systems, two different visions. In 1950, tensions exploded into the Korean War. The war was brutal, lasting 3 years and causing millions of deaths. When it finally ended in 1953, there was no clear winner, just a heavily guarded border called the Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, and that line still exists today. In the north, a leader named Kim Il-sung took control and built a highly centralized state. His ideology focused on self-reliance, known as Juche. Over time, leadership passed down within his family, to his son and then his grandson, Kim Jong-un, who leads today. Meanwhile, North Korea became increasingly isolated from the rest of the world, especially after the Cold War ended. Economic struggles, international sanctions, and strict internal controls shaped the country into what we see today, a nation that operates very differently from most others. And that difference shows up clearly in everyday life. Life in North Korea revolves heavily around community, structure, and loyalty to the state. People are taught from a young age to prioritize the group over the individual. Cultural performances are a big deal here, especially mass games, where thousands of performers move in perfect synchronization to create giant visual displays. It's like a living, breathing animation. Food tends to be simple but meaningful. Staples like rice, noodles, and vegetables are common, along with dishes like kimchi, a spicy fermented cabbage that's central to Korean cuisine on both sides of the border. Music and art often carry strong patriotic themes, and many aspects of life, from school to work, are influenced by government messaging. At the same time, everyday people still celebrate birthdays, spend time with family, and enjoy small moments, just like anywhere else. It's a mix of strict control and ordinary human life. And when we zoom out and compare globally, things get even more interesting. In terms of GDP, North Korea ranks quite low globally. Not surprising. Human Development Index, also near the lower end. Military size, surprisingly large for its population. Tourism, one of the least visited countries in the world. Not shocking. Happiness rankings, hard to measure accurately, but often assumed to be low due to restrictions. Fun facts. In North Korea, the calendar doesn't just follow the regular year. It also uses a system based on the birth year of its founding leader. There are only a handful of websites officially accessible inside the country. Capital Pyongyang has wide, clean streets, but very few cars compared to most major cities. Tourists can visit, but only with approved guides, and their movement is carefully planned and monitored. North Korea is a place of isolation, history, and complexity, unlike anywhere else in the world. If you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe for more country deep dives. Next time, we're heading to a country where people drive on the left. Tea is a national obsession, and the weather changes every 5 minutes. Can you guess where we're going? Drop it in the comments.